Very much. Mr. Chair, members of the committee, my name is Michael Zucat, representing the San Diego Municipal Employees Association, joined this morning by MEA's President, Michelle Ciccarelli, and other members of our leadership and staff. We appreciate the CFO and his team for their work on this report. We appreciate the IBA. We especially appreciate this council who took action last week to get going on the revenue side of things. We appreciate the mayor for including as potential mitigations in this report additional work that needs to be done on revenues. We appreciate your other agenda items today where you'll be engaging on user fees. This is all very good, and we appreciate and encourage that work to continue. What we come profoundly disappointed about today is the complete lack of any movement whatsoever on the expenditure side. Your independent budget analysts and MEA for 3 months have been expressing that we have to get going on cutting or it's only going to get worse, as the IBA said this morning. And it's incredibly frustrating that there was an indication that proposed cuts would be coming in December. Didn't happen. January didn't happen. Today didn't happen. And on page 30 of the report, it says, maybe by the end of February. So we won't hold our breath. So apparently we're just going to waste all of this time, which we could be using to get a head start on this. And instead, as the IBA articulates, it's only going to make things more difficult. That's incredibly frustrating for 2 reasons. Number one, we're wasting that time. Number two, there's a lot of talk around here that this time around, for this budget crisis, we're not going to do it on the backs of employees. We're not going to balance a budget on the backs of employees. Well, that's what you're doing. That's exactly what's happening right now. We came into this budget crisis with huge numbers of vacancies. Let's take libraries and parks and recreation departments. You now have 91 vacant librarian and library assistant positions in Park and Rec. It's a 15% vacancy rate, much higher than the cities. Your budgeted MEA positions in Park and Rec are 24% vacant today. 24%. So coming into this, the city already couldn't come through on the services it's promising to its citizens. As the IBA noted, the hiring freeze apparently is not alive and well. You have more employees today in the city of San Diego than you did 2.5 months ago. Except in, say, library. You had 75 vacancies in November. Today you have 91. Yet there's no political will or operational focus to cut those hours. So what does library department administration have to do? They tell employees, well, figure it out. So branch libraries that are supposed to be staffed with 4 or 5 people are now staffed with 3 people, 2 people. And the service to the public just gets crappier and more mediocre, which pisses off the public. They take it out on the employees, who it's not their fault, and things continue to go downhill. Morale goes down, more people call in sick, and pretty soon you'll be closing libraries, not because you close them, but because you don't have anybody there to stick a key in the door. And so I don't mean to be dramatic, and you all know me, I'm not here to be hysterical, but it's so frustrating. Forget about how frustrated I am. Your staff, your employees of the city are incredibly frustrated by this. In the Parks and Recreation Department, 27% of park ranger positions are vacant. 57% of pool guard positions are vacant today. 24% of recreation center director positions are vacant today. 62% of recreation leaders, 34% of swimming pool managers, on and on. You know what the city's not having trouble hiring in the last 2.5 months? Program managers and program coordinators. In November, when the hiring freeze was announced, the hiring freeze, only for the most mission-critical position was announced, there were 64 vacant program manager and program coordinator positions. When I came to this committee in early December, I suggested we freeze those positions, we cut those positions. What's happened? There's been a net hiring of those positions. There's less vacant program manager and program coordinator positions today than there were 2.5 months ago. Are you kidding me? In Park and Rec, you heard the percentages of vacancies. You know what you're not having problems filling in Park and Rec? The director, the 2 assistant directors, The 10 deputy directors, all filled. Don't forget the program managers, program coordinators. Those are all mission critical. Apparently the people actually working at the rec centers aren't mission critical. Apparently the librarians aren't mission critical to the library system. Let me just say that again. Apparently librarians are not mission critical to the library system. You have more unclassified staff today in the city than you did 2.5 months ago. So what's been going on with all that 5%, 10%, 20% budget reduction exercise? What happened to the December exercise of asking all the departments to talk about all their functionality, who's doing what? In 3 months, there's not one thing that anybody can bring to the city to begin cutting. You have 1,500 vacant positions in the city today. You're not going to cut one of them? So it seems really weird that the labor goon in the room is up here begging to cut services, but the problem, as the IBA just pointed out, is if you don't do this, it only is going to pretend more difficult decisions for the future. And you don't need to lay off employees. We're not going to let you lay off employees. That's not happening. But if you continue to do nothing, if the city continues to do nothing, you're only going to have worse and worse choices. Parking enforcement officers, there's a mention in the mid-year that, you know, some hiring there would be helpful. Yeah, there's still 22 vacant positions, parking enforcement officers. These are revenue generating positions. If you fill those positions, you generate $5 million. Is the chief being given what he needs to help hire those positions? Because those positions have been in the 20, 22, 25 vacancy range for 2 years. We've been talking about this every quarter. Is anybody running this city? Is anybody paying attention to the operations of this city? Anybody? Bueller? Is the chief operating officer here? Are these numbers? These aren't MEA's numbers. These are the city's numbers. These aren't secret. Are these numbers known by the administration and just sort of, yeah, we're cool with that? Are they not known? I'm sorry to express so much frustration, but it's on behalf of our employees who witness all this, and all they hear from their department directors is, hey, get ready to lose your job. Big rifts are coming. That's what department directors are telling our employees. That's not necessary. I don't believe anybody on this committee thinks it's necessary. But when are we going to get going on the cuts? Sorry, Mr. Chair, if I was an ass. Thank you.